Good morning and welcome to our second Let It All Out. I'm Lisa Gray. I am the Assistant Executive Director for A Motivating Love. This morning, I'd like to introduce you to our panelists. The first one we have is Miss Tiara. Tiara, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this show. I'm so excited. So my name is Tiara M. Tucker. I am from south of Chicago, and I have been in the Dallas, Texas area since 2012. I consider myself to be aware of many tiaras. I am an empowerment connector. I am a speaker. I am also the founder and CEO of Tiara PR Network LLC, a PR communications events and coaching boutique firm in Dallas. And I'm also the founder of Speak That Movement, which is my 501c3 charitable organization that is on a mission to help women live their best life, overcome mental health issues and social justice roadblocks along the way. So I'm excited to be here today.
Thanks, Tiara. Our next panelist is Rita. Rita, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone out there in virtual land. My name is Rita Dixon. I have a probate and family law firm here in Frisco, Texas. I've been practicing law for the past 14 years. For the family side, I handle divorces, child custody, modifications, adoptions. And on the probate side and the estate planning, I will draft your will, your power of attorneys, medical, durable. And on the probate administration side, if someone passes away with or without a will, we will take that to court and help you handle the business of the estate. I'm very excited to be here today and a part of this panel.
Thanks, Rita. Our next panelist is Cheryl. Cheryl.
There we go. Hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Upfall, and I'm so happy to see you this morning. I am a lifelong Texan, and I currently teach at Texas Women's University. I'm an educator and encourager of women. So I also lead a group called McKinney Women Entrepreneurs, where we help female entrepreneurs, business owners, or those looking to do those things, or just want to learn to connect with others in the North Texas area. And I'm also a local realtor in the McKinney Frisco area. So thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to visit and learn from you ladies this morning.
Thanks, Cheryl. Our final panelist is Miss Erin. Erin.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm Erin Lucia. I am a 25-year Texas transplant. I'm originally from California. I'm very proud to live here. I have been in events and marketing and operations and sales for longer than I'd like to admit. I am a big motivator and fan of anything we can do to promote women in business, and just making sure that all people have awesome lives. So I'm very excited to be here and learn from everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Erin. We're glad you could join us. Okay, let's begin. We've got several questions that are very interesting today. The first question is for Cheryl and Tiara. And the question is, as a serious extrovert hugger toucher, how can I be engaging with others and show that I care?
Awesome. Tiara, you want to go or you want me to go?
You go first.
Okay. Well, I love words. And so words of affirmation is really something that is important to me. And it's probably for me, it's an easier because it's more natural. I personally am not a big hugger. So not hugging or touching during COVID isn't a huge stumbling block for me. But what I try to do is send text messages or Facebook messages and just let people know I'm thinking about them, even if it's something small, like, hey, happy Monday, or I was thinking about you today because I saw, and make a connection with them. Like, I saw a commercial, it reminded me of you. I heard a song and it reminded me of your favorite place in Texas, or whatever it is. Just if they know you're thinking about them, it makes them feel special. So that's one thing I like to do.
Yeah, I agree. And that's really, really thoughtful. I would say, during COVID, because we're living in such a virtual world right now, I feel like, it's easy to show love on social media, right? Someone posts something, like it, right? Love it. Add a comment like, great job. I'm proud of you. So I really like to do that, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. But then also I'm with you. The text messages are always a great touch. I don't talk on the phone with a entirely lot of people because I'm long-winded and my phone conversations are really long. However, I do believe in taking the time to pick up the phone and call people from time to time. But then I will say that I have been out and about from time to time during COVID. And, there's a lot of this going on, fist pumps, elbows. So there are still ways to show that love and show human interaction with people. So I'm with you. Affirmations are great. Words are powerful, whether you're saying them, using them with a hug, or just typing them out.
Great answers, ladies. Actually, number 2 is for both of you also. So here we go. How are you handling your work environment if you're back in the office with a younger generation that doesn't get the COVID shot, doesn't want to wear a mask, and goes to clubs every weekend? How is your workplace protecting you?
That's a really good question. I'll jumpstart this one. And I'll say this, for me, outside of having my own PR firm and then my own nonprofit, I do have a 16-year corporate career. However, we're not in the office yet. So I actually went into the office one time in over a year just to look at it because I wanted to see what it looked like in the inside. But I have not worked in the office in over a year. However, whenever we do go back, I know that at least my company that I work for, they are, very, very concerned about the safety and, just how people feel and how people are, just dealing with the pandemic. So I'm very comfortable and confident in my organization and the direction that they've taken over the past year. And so, I trust what they're going to do. And I also feel like, there's mixed reviews. I haven't gotten a shot. I was leery at first. I think that I'm more comfortable with taking the vaccination soon. So I feel like it's really an individual decision. However, I think that as individuals, because we're making these decisions, that we do have to be mindful and respectful. I still believe in wearing my mask. And even when I get the vaccination, I will probably still wear my mask in certain environments. So I just think it's still such a touchy subject right now. But at the end of the day, I think people have to respect, how they feel and how other people may feel that they're interacting with. So
I completely agree with that. I think the first part of the question, so at Texas Women's University, they are so wonderful. We're following all the CDC guidelines. I have not been back on campus. I'm not teaching in person since spring break of last year. So my courses are all online. I do sometimes go see my student teachers in the field on campuses, but I follow the rules and I feel comfortable. If I did not feel comfortable, then I can say I don't feel comfortable and I would like a different assignment, or I would like to do a Zoom or things like that. So I feel like there are so many options, but I agree with you, Tiara, on I want to be kind to people. I'm also a business owner, so I would never want to offend someone or make them feel awkward for whatever choice that they had. So I take that into consideration. I also have not gotten the vaccine. I'm just kind of waiting. Some things like you. I try to have conversations about those things with people if they are willing and open, but it can be a hot topic.
Yeah.
I catch myself sometimes from the topics because I don't want to offend someone. I also don't want myself to get in a situation that I can't handle myself, me getting personally upset, and it can happen. So I just try to be kind. I make my own personal decision and I go with it. And I hope that other people would respect it in the way I'm respecting their decision.
I agree.
Great answers, ladies. Thanks. All right, this next question is for Erin and Tiara.
Oh, I'm in the hot seat this morning.
You are in the hot seat. How do you handle yourself in a work environment where others work to collect their paycheck and don't put forth the effort that is required to do their job while you're doing your job plus other jobs and not getting appreciated or paid for it?
I'll let Erin talk first this time.
I was waiting for you. Okay, I will jump in. I work at a hotel. I work at Embassy Suites, Dallas Park Central, and we don't actually have that issue per se. And let me say this, I'm sure in everyone's work environment that there are moments like this, but since COVID's happened, it is all hands on deck. It doesn't matter what your background is or your experience, you get it done, you take care of it. And I think it's really fostered a sense of, I'll clean the toilets, I'll make the beds. Well, people come and take care of our business and support us, I'm in. So I think it's kind of been a little eliminated. I would say in my past history, because obviously I've worked for a long time, that I've always tried to foster an environment in myself that I give to others, whether I'm answering phones or selling something or serving a plate, that we are all on the same team. So I don't really let that happen, if that makes sense. You can motivate people and empower them to do better for themselves and not just collect a paycheck and leave, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I would say, when I think about my corporate career in particular, I'm on a new team. I just got a new role at the end of last year. And so thank you very much. It's really an awesome role. I'm blessed. And I'll say that it's a really small team, but everybody works so hard where we really have a team environment. So I have not experienced that where it's like, you're doing all the work, you're not. However, because we have such a great, strong, cohesive team, there have been times where maybe somebody put in a little bit more work and effort, but it's because we understand, hey, this person may have more on their plate than this person, but at the end of the day, we recognize that the ultimate goal is to please our audiences, whether that means this person put in 70, this person put in 30, that 30 could have meant 110. So I think that having that mentality and also just having that type of team, and I'm sure there are people out there who probably are like, that is not my world, blah, blah, blah. But I will also say this to people who may not be able to have positive experiences. I also believe in using my voice. I'm a big component of, you use your voice. And there have been times where I have, spoken up to a leader and I said, hey, I've done a lot. And I mean, I'm really working towards a good raise this year or a good, opportunity. And I've made it very clear because sometimes people aren't confident or bold or feel like they have the power to stand up for themselves and say what they're doing and why they feel that they should get a little bit more or acknowledge their contributions to the team or to the work environment. So I just want to throw that out there that, we can put the focus on the other people and what they're not doing, but it's really important to put the focus on you and what you are doing.
Absolutely. Self-responsibility for how you lead and how you project what you're doing, I think is really important. And for me, I've always worked in the service industry since a small person, and everybody matters. And I think if you walk through your job every day with everyone matters, the people you work with, yourself, and everything about them, then I think those things can be adjusted and eliminated. I really do. You matter, Tiara.
You matter, Erin.
Thank you.
And all of you matter out there too.
All of you, no matter what you do.
Wow, ladies, that was a great answer. Talk about uplifting. Okay, this next question is for Rita and Erin. How do you communicate to your spouse that when you married, you became number one woman in his life and not his mother?
Okay, well, the in-laws are always one of those touchy subjects when you're married. So this year I'll be married 10 years in August, and I'm really proud of that. I have 2 little boys with my husband. Thank you so much. And I would just say I love my mother-in-law. And I think to answer the question, the most important thing when it comes to the in-laws is communication. when you get married, each of you are learning how to then redefine your relationship with your parents. And I think that it's important when you get married to make sure you establish that. Sometimes premarital counseling will help, or just counseling when you're married to help work out those issues. But communication is the key. And I think a lot of times when these issues come up, the atmosphere is very heated, you're arguing sometimes, and that's not an effective way to communicate. I would just say you need to carve out some time when you're not arguing about this topic, when emotions are not high. Set some time when everyone is calm and you can actually walk through what is going on in that particular situation and why you feel that way. I think you also need to take some time with yourself and understand, like, what is going on, what specifically has happened to make me feel like I'm being put on the back burner. And then you'd be able to effectively communicate in a calm space to your spouse what it is that is making you feel that way. And sometimes he or she may have a completely different point of view that you did not even think about. And that will help you to communicate better together about what's going on so you can handle problems in the future. It's very important that both spouses understand that once you get married, each of you are your number one persons now. Each of you are your number one fans. Both of you have to have each other's back. And so that's really the main thing. I think once that is understood and each person respects the other person and is able to communicate their needs, then everything starts to work out a lot better.
100% yes. I would only add that I am very fortunate that I also love my mother-in-law. She's very kind to me, and I'm very lucky. We've only had a few imperfect moments, I think. She actually lives with us. And
that's a blessing.
Yes, I feel very fortunate. He helps me so much with my life. My life is very busy, and with my husband's life. And I grew up with this wonderful, a fabulous family, but my grandma Anna was this little short Italian lady, and she used to always say to me, be with the one who loves their mother, and always remember that they love their mother first. And that is so important to remember, because it sets the standard for understanding that that's their mom. Don't fight it, get into and stuff. It's just not worth it. Love them, embrace them. I think it's really important. And I know not every mother-in-law is perfect. I get it. I'm not saying that the world is Shangri-La, but respect who they are. They brought you him. He's part of your life permanently. He is your number one, but that's his mom. I think it's important. I'm not saying cross boundaries. I'm not saying not be respectful, but I have a son now. He'll be 13 at the end of this month, and he loves me, and I don't want that to change either. Does that make sense? But I also want him to grow and love and move on in his life too, and respect whoever comes into his life. I think it's really important to do that. I'm just really fortunate. She also cooks for us, so we're so lucky.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I'm going to come over to your house.
Come on. You're all invited.
Thank you. Okay, question number 5 is for Erin, Cheryl, and Rita. Do you ever feel as though when you are out of sight of your spouse, you are out of their mind?
Well, right now I don't. I just would say that I do communicate pretty well with my husband, but I think that if you do feel that way, you probably need to explore why. Is it that when you go out that you can't reach your spouse, like they never return your calls, they just ghost you? Or is it that when you're in the house, they just ignore you, you go in your separate rooms? And you don't really talk very much? I mean, I think it's just a matter of exploring why you feel that way. And then once you are able to explore why you feel that way, then, point out those specific situations with your spouse and see if y'all can work through those issues. Yeah. I think that's the best way to handle it.
I agree. I would say
Cheryl?
For me, it's probably the opposite. Where my husband feels like I may do that to him, because when I'm really focused on a project or doing something during my work day, I don't check in with him. I don't, we'll go the whole day. And he's mentioned to me before that when we were younger in our relationship, why didn't you call me today? And so I started realizing he needed that. And so if I get to 4 o'clock, this literally happened yesterday. I got to 4:30, and I thought he's going to be coming home and he's going to say, what'd you do today? So I quick called him and I said, hey, I just realized I hadn't talked to you today, whatever. Because I personally, it's not that I don't love my husband, but I'm a super focused person when I'm doing something. And when I'm at home and it's daddy time, I'm super focused on daddy. But when I'm at work or with a client or with a student, whatever, I want to give them my undivided time. So I probably, my husband could have maybe written that question.
I'm digital on that. I think it's a communication style. My husband teaches, and so I love when he calls me on his way home because I'm usually still at work. Because it's our 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is, just to chat about the day and check in with each other. However, I'm a worrier by nature. And so he always can figure out, I'm just checking in or let me know where we are. That's important to us, but we have figured that out. That's our cycle. And I think it's really, really important. I'm sure early on he learned that it's important to communicate with me because I was very clear with my expectations. And since then, it's been a really great thing for us. I think it's important to talk. That's what this is all about. Communicate with each other. It's about the two of you. Figure out what makes you each other happy and be respectful. Whatever that is. I don't mean stalker. I just mean.
Right.
Oh, wow. Erin, you're too funny. Okay, this next question is for Cheryl and Rita. After 10 plus years of marriage, what are some suggestions to keep the spark alive between the two of us?
Well, obviously we kind of talked about this a little bit in the question before. I think communication and spending time together is super important. I have 3 kids, and one is still young. I have 3.5-year-old. My middle daughter has special needs, and so she's 11, but she takes quite a bit of time. And then we have a 13-year-old who is super busy with travel hockey. And so we're busy. This week we have 6 nights of hockey.
Wow.
So yes, it's busy. We're a very busy family. And so, like I said, when we choose to spend time together, it is 100% us. Whether that is watching a movie together, if it's date night on the patio, if it's we actually get to go somewhere, which doesn't happen very often, it is 100% us, not on our phones, not with the kids around, and that kind of thing. So that really works for us. We've been married 16 years, and we've definitely had times where we've struggled with that, depending on our family needs or personal needs and that kind of thing. But I think it's an everyday commitment to spending time together and focusing on each other.
Okay, well, I totally agree with that. And I think I probably need to do a better job with just spending more quality time with my family, just because it seems like, especially in COVID, that it's go, go, go. And there's always something to do. It seems like my life has gotten busier since COVID has happened, especially at home. But I would say, because this year is my 10th year in August, I would say during COVID, I actually, and this might be a little racy, but I started taking baths, and it's really been calming. And I have invited my husband to come and join me, and that has actually been something great. So that's one thing that I think has helped keep the spark alive. Also, just kind of surprising your spouse with presents. I know I like flowers every now and again, but for guys, I feel like it's hard to figure out what they might like every now and again. I know they like something, so just trying to figure that out, and maybe just surprising them also with presents, something that might take the place of flowers, would be nice, I think. And maybe couples games. I know they have a lot out there nowadays. Even some apps probably will have some couples games. Just taking some time maybe at night before bed, asking each other some questions or playing a short game might keep that spark alive. I'm sure there's a lot of different things you can do. I think it's just making a conscious effort to do them.
I think that's great. It's hard to find gifts for guys. I would agree. I did find one. I signed my husband up for a beer club. I was at a restaurant and I saw a flyer and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so easy, right? Because I don't have to really go. I just made the one-time purchase. It does it on my card, and then I just send him the email when it's time to do his pickup, and it makes him feel special, like he gets a little present every couple months. So, and it was super easy. So an idea if your husband likes beer.
That's a nice suggestion.
Yeah.
Ladies, those are great answers. I'm writing this stuff down. But everyone, we are going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Holly, and I do the live action media, and I'm one of the program admins. The Motivating Love isn't really a cookie cutter organization. We take what comes to us, and we meet who comes into our lives, and we figure out how to grow and develop with them, and we want you to be a part of us, so we can hold your hand, we can celebrate with you when you have victories, and we can cry with you when you don't. So come be a part of us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Greenberg with RX Smile Orthodontics and Frisco Oral Sleep Devices. We're partnering again this year with A Motivating Love as their corporate sponsor, and we're thrilled to participate. Some of the services that we offer here at Frisco Oral Sleep Devices and RX Smile are braces for adults and children, Invisalign for adults, Invisalign Teen, and Invisalign for younger children. Braces, the highest technology passive self-ligating braces. We look to have a good time while we're straightening teeth and creating beautiful smiles. For Frisco Oral Sleep Devices, we offer sleep apnea devices for those that have snoring and sleep apnea problems. If your spouse is elbowing you every night in the ribs and you've got a bruise, it's time to come see me, and let's take care of that for both of you. I look forward to seeing you here at the office for complimentary exams and discussing what we can do for you, both in your smile and in your sleep. Take care.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Let It All Out, our second in this series, and let's resume our questions. This next question is for Tiara and Cheryl. Hey, okay ladies, here's our next question. My friend girl is always giving her opinion about everything in my life and or others. I am married and she is not. How can I get her to shut up when sometimes I just need to vent it out?
Tiara, you go first on this one, girl.
First of all, Lisa, I like how you chose the wording. Just shut up. You know, that can be stated a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it was.
I know. That's a very good question. Some people are just very opinionated, right? And I can tackle this question from a few different angles, right? She's always giving her opinion. She always has something to say. She's your friend. So, you chose for whatever reason for her to remain your friend. So there's probably something about her that you like or you love, because we have a lot of associates in life, right? Friends is a great word, oftentimes overused and maybe even underused. So I would first say, okay, is she really your friend, or is she just, a female that you know and you talk to from time to time? And then the other piece is, if she is your friend and you have an issue maybe with some things and it's starting to bother you, or it's just really annoying you, then maybe let her know, like, hey, girl, I feel like you always have something to say. The other piece to that is, if she's very opinionated about other people, does she share a lot about herself, right? Is she vulnerable and open to talking about her own business? Because that would make me wonder, like, okay, are you just kind of always wanting to hear people's business and maybe share your thoughts about them? And what do you do with it? But are you sharing yours as well, allowing people to share opinions with you? So I would just kind of pause and just evaluate this entire friendship, this entire relationship. And if it's one that you really want to hold on to, then, talk to her about it. You're friends, right? Or if it's one where you're like, you know what? Every time I talk to her, I leave the conversation feeling heavy or feeling terrible, or she's opinionated and judgmental. Do I even want that as a friend? Or am I wanting to just kind of separate myself a little, still be cool with her, still love her, still go to each other's birthday celebrations, but just kind of separate myself? So that's kind of a long-winded answer. What do you think, Cheryl?
So I'm old and I've had lots of friends, and I think that I don't know everything about the person who put the question in, but I feel like she needs to stop giving her friends so much ammo. So we get in patterns with friends. We all, like, may have a friend that I talk business about, another friend I talk education, another friend I do mom stuff, another friend I do sex talk. Whatever it is kind of like what we do. So you need to reevaluate and think, okay, if every time we get together, do we have kind of a gripe session? And I've been guilty of it. And that's why I can call it out, because I've done it, And so if you're always giving your friend ammo and telling her all the horrible things about your husband or your mother-in-law or whatever, then that's all they know about them. If we could front load it a little bit more with, oh, my husband did this, or, oh, we went to this, or the positive things about your relationship, then your conversation might steer more towards that, because your friend hopefully loves you and wants the best for you. And so if they're constantly hearing all the negative things about people in your life, they want to protect you. And then they're like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Why would he say that? Yeah. And they're just typically just re-saying what you've already said. So you might need to stop all the negative talk about these people in your life.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And then also with the question, this person is needing to vent. So person, you're needing to talk. So you're choosing to talk. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking, are you making it clear, hey, I just need to vent, rhetorical, please don't respond? Or are you opening up the door for them to respond? Because if you're opening up the door and they're responding, well, you ask them to. Or maybe you just need to vent it out. And maybe I'm just going to throw this out there because I'm a very big advocate on mental health. Do you need a therapist, right? Are there things?
Great idea.
Therapist? Do you need a spiritual friend to just listen to you and maybe pray with you or pray over you? Or, is it just something else that you might be in need of? So I just want to add that as well.
I think that's a great idea. Thankfully, my sister happens to be a certified therapist, so I can call her and I can have that conversation of, I'm just going to bellyache for a minute. I don't need you to solve this, but I wouldn't share with some people, what I share with her, because I know they would bring it back or maybe share it out to somebody else. So just some ideas.
Yep.
Okay, ladies, that was some great ideas. Thanks. This next question is for Tiara and Erin. Hi. I want to plan a day trip with a few friends, but unsure if all of them will click. They've not been around each other before, but I am the common denominator. Am I wrong for stating how I envision the day when I invite them on the trip?
You go, Erin. You see a lot of people in the hotel industry on trips.
I sure do, and I have seen this scenario many times. Well, as a planner person, ever since I was a small child, I would say that if I'm planning the trip and I invite who I want to, I let them all know who's coming and just be real clear about the expectations. We're going wine tasting, and then we're going to go to dinner, and we're going to stay at a hotel, or we're going to go hiking for 5 miles. Whatever it is, just put it all out there. I think everyone can be involved very nicely together. I really think women are awesome, and we adapt very quickly to any situation. So if they're friends with me, I'm just thinking that there's some commonality there. And I would love all my different friends to get together. That's why they're my friends. We should not all be the same. So it would make the trip awesome, I think. I think it's all how you viewpoint it, for sure.
Definitely. So I'm going to answer the question two parts, because it's like a two-part situation here. One, I'm planning a trip. I'm unsure if they'll all click. Well, if you're the common denominator, then I think you probably should really ask yourself, would this person click with this person? And if you have any reservations or concerns about, say, 2 people clicking, then I think that if you have time, then maybe you can, have a pre-Zoom or, start the text thread or a group meet chat where you have people kind of getting to know each other before you get out there. And then you can kind of see how that energy goes in advance. Or, you can let the friends know, hey, I'm just letting you know, Erin is, that's my really cool friend, Erin, blah, blah, blah. Now, let me tell you about Daphne. Now, Daphne, blah, blah, blah. So that's just another, maybe tactic that where you can make sure going in that nobody's going to be caught off guard by anybody's personality. Right. Because if they're your friends, you clearly adore all of them. So you're not saying anything negative about them. You're just kind of letting people know in advance how people are. But then the other piece of the question, rather, am I wrong for stating how I envision? Heck, no, you're the event planner. Like, I'm waiting on you to tell me how this day is going to go. What should I wear? What time are we going? Where do we stop? Those are the details as an event planner. And I'm an event planner. Erin, you're an event planner. That's really kind of like your responsibility, FYI, to let us know, hey, this is what I envision. And I know some people think, oh, no, just be informal. No. If you really want to have a great experience with people, whether it's formal or informal, it is your obligation to kind of plan it out, even if it's loose and you're going to be flexible, because it gives you structure. It allows you to be prepared for the awkward situations or the random things. So I would encourage you, plan it out. Let everybody kind of have an idea in advance. And then I think you're going to have a wonderful trip.
It's the shoe rule. Just tell me what kind of shoes to wear and we'll be fine.
That's right.
Just let everyone know where they need to be, what's going on, and it'll be an awesome time. Women together can be awesome. We don't have to feed into negativity.
That's right. And know your friends, okay? Yes. Know what types of drinks they can drink to have a good time. Yes. Know what kinds of drinks you do not want to give that friend.
Right.
That's not the Patron drinker or the Tito's drinker. Don't give it to her.
Don't give them to her.
You two are funny. We need to all go on a trip. I can only see fun. Okay, this next question is for Tiara and Miss Rita. There we go. Okay, this is a long one. Are you ready? Okay.
We're ready.
As a woman of color, do you feel pressured by your Caucasian friends to explain your hairstyle and choices? My good friend of 10 years wants to be supportive, but a lot of our recent conversations are all about Black Lives Matter and Black Girl Magic. She's constantly asking if she can touch my hair, wear the same style as me, if I'm regretting choices in my life, and what it would have done things differently. So
I'll let you start,
Okay.
Rita.
Well, I guess okay. Well, I can start. So I've been natural since 2005. So I definitely have had interactions with coworkers and um, about my hair, questions about my hair. I think the main thing that I try to keep in mind is to answer these questions with grace, basically. I mean, I think everyone is just curious at the end of the day. And if we're not open to sharing and communicating, things that other people may not know, then it would be hard for society and other persons to grow and learn and adjust. And so I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to Shara Parker. She has a great series out called Rooted. And it goes into a lot of history, in-depth history about Black hair. And it's just a good series. So if you have time, check that out. That's also very educational. But I would just say, just be honest, to know your boundaries, to speak up for yourself. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of, I think, everyone trying to learn and understand and grow, and to just be patient. And like I said, answer these questions kind of with grace. I think it's just having a conversation with your friend and just being honest on how these different topics make you feel. And I think when you communicate that with your friend, because you're calling her your friend, then it'll be accepted. And then she can then learn and grow and then share and then educate. And I think the chain will just keep on going, because if we don't have that conversation, we're not going to grow as a society and become better.
Yes, yes.
Tara?
Cheers to all of that. Like, I'm just like, yes, yes.
Yes.
Word, Rita, that you stated, I just want to echo is grace, right? Like, I'm very passionate about social justice, and I recognize, particularly last year, when the world was just really, I don't know, I don't know, change, awakened, whatever word we want to use. But when the social injustices and the racial injustices were very blatant. Now, granted, I don't want to go down a path here, but some of these things most of us already were aware of. But for others, it was like, wow, I didn't realize this. So with all of that, there became a curiosity. There became a level of people who were now pausing and reflecting on their own lives or their families' lives. And they were starting to ask questions like, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Am I a racist? Or am I judgmental? Just various things. So I will say that we have to recognize that when we want change, that there has to be this stage of discovery and this stage of grace and this stage of growth. So I know for a fact that I had a lot of Caucasians in the workplace, outside of the workplace, and even my African-American friends and family members who would reach out to me wanting my thoughts on different things taking place. And I have friends that were like, I'm just going to be very blunt. I'm not talking to some of these people about this because they're not going to use me to be the one to help answer their questions. I took a different angle. I said, I want people to come to me because I can't be on one side, protesting for equality or pushing equality messages. But then when people come to me very vulnerable saying, hey, can you help me understand this? I want to be the one that they can feel comfortable asking these questions to. So if you want to know about my hair, let me tell you about my hair. I'm natural, but let me tell you about this journey of being natural. Let me tell you about the braids and the sew-ins and all those other things. Because if it's really coming from that genuine place of curiosity, it's our, I hate to say obligation because everybody doesn't have to do it. But for me, it's my opportunity to educate people and inform them. And to your point, when they know, then they can go and tell other people, and we can just continue to break these chains and just hopefully see more growth and positivity along the way. So
Exactly.
no pressure.
I also think that, that relationship, to piggyback off of what you just said, because you're saying you're looking at it as an opportunity, and because you have a relationship with that person, what you say will have a greater impact on that person. And they would probably listen to you more because of that relationship. And again, that will spur change and growth.
Wow.
Thank you, ladies. That was great answers. I learned something. Thanks. Okay, this next question is for Erin and Cheryl. Okay. As a Caucasian woman, do you feel as though you owe your Black or person of color friends an apology for the way they've been treated in the past by our ancestors? I'm trying to understand how to feel the experience of my person of color friends and fight this fight alongside them. What are you doing?
Okay. Erin, do you want to go first? Do you want me to? You can. I don't mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I would just say that my answer is from the heart. It pains me that any human being has been pigeonholed or labeled or treated poorly on this planet over all the years. I'm very heartbroken over that. I don't, of all shapes, size, colors, male, female, everybody. So I wouldn't know how to apologize for something so heinous that has happened. I would say that every day I try to be a better person and love human beings, period. And I try to always understand I cannot ever understand what they've been through because that's not me. But I can give them my love and understanding and be a person who stands up for all people and does not accept, I'm going to use the word inappropriate words, behavior, attitudes, tendencies. That's all I can do. I think you should never apologize for something that you couldn't possibly understand how horrible it is. But you can say, I love you and I embrace you. I would do anything for you to make you feel better, feel safe, feel stronger.
I agree with that. So I'm looking at the question. I don't necessarily feel like I need to do a formal apology.
Right.
I think that would feel really contrived. And if a man walked up to me and said, I apologize for all the atrocities that have been done to women for the last thousands of years, I would be like, okay. Now, if we were having a natural conversation and I shared something that happened to me as a woman and someone said, I'm really sorry that happened to you, that would feel good. Like they were actually trying to empathize with me and talk about me, and that would feel okay. So I really liked some of the things that Tiara mentioned in the previous question about conversations with people and just trying to understand them. That's really what I have done, because that's the second part. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I have a few, like she mentioned, some people want to have these conversations and some people do not. So the people I feel comfortable having conversations with, and I know it's not going to go awry, it's going to be very open, we're both going to be listening, that are people of color. When I have those conversations with them, I learn a lot about, like you said, I don't know the things that have happened to them. So I love learning about them. Over history, mankind is not kind. And the struggle for power over, hundreds, thousands of years is horrible, and atrocities happen. And I think as people, we can, learn from those things. So I love having those conversations. I love this kind of thing where we can talk. The only thing I can speak about is from my experience. And so, but that is not 100% true. That's just my experience in the world. You know what I mean? So I love listening to them, but it is hard as a white woman, middle-class white woman I would never want to offend someone by coming off as,
Right.
oh, I'm so sorry for what happened to you. I feel like that would be very offensive.
Right.
If I was the other person. So, it is something that I feel like the last year I've had to tiptoe around a little bit, because there are times when I don't want to offend someone, but at the same time, I can't apologize for every atrocity in the world, because I wasn't there and I don't know every atrocity in the world. So I don't know. I feel like when it's true to that person and it comes from the heart, like you said, it really comes across and it can be meaningful to people.
I agree. In the hotel world, especially in this last year with COVID and everything that went on last year, there was a lot of conversations. I don't know if everyone's experienced this, but I call it anonymous happiness and ugliness. People just say what they feel because they're never going to see you again. But that's okay. I can take it. And several times people said, well, you just don't understand what it's like. And I'm like, you're right. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat it. I don't say, but, oh, I do get it. I don't. And I'm sorry that I don't get it. But what can I do right now to help you feel stronger, safer, loved? Because you're right. I don't. And I'm sorry for that I don't, but I can't possibly. So how can I do better? How can I teach my son to be better?
Yeah.
Tell me
what
would be better. I'm very open to that. I try to be.
Awesome.
Wow. Thanks, ladies. We're going to be right back. We're going to take another brief commercial break, so stay tuned.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Hurt, owner and founder of Naomi Ruth Expressions. Naomi Ruth Expressions is a greeting cards brand targeted towards women and girls, promoting healthy friendships and relationships. It is our goal at Naomi Ruth Expressions to reaffirm, reassure, and reintroduce women and girls to written expression through heartfelt messages by way of greeting cards and other unique stationery items. Naomi Ruth Expressions started in 2016 for me at a time when I was really depressed and down, sad. I was missing girlfriends. My family had just moved across the country, and all I knew to do was expressing myself was to write. And so I began writing messages to my girlfriends as though I was sitting next to them, as though I was on the other end of a phone call with them. And I came up with this idea of creating greeting cards with those same messages. I learned to appreciate greeting cards by watching, by example, watching my grandmother appreciate receiving greeting cards from her loved ones, from her girlfriends, and keeping them in her bedside stand. And so that has become a learned behavior for me, a learned appreciation for me throughout my life. And so I took that pain and made it my message and made it heartfelt messages for my girlfriends and loved ones, wherever they might be. And so my business grew into a creative idea. I took those heartfelt messages and came up with greeting cards. So Naomi Ruth is all about positivity, all about female empowerment, but more importantly, just supporting and loving on our girlfriends, loving on our sister friends, loving on our daughters, our aunts, and co-workers, whomever pours into your life, that positivity, just pouring into them and saying thank you, or saying, hey, I adore you. Hey, I see you. And that's what Naomi Ruth Expressions is about, offering that heartfelt message that we all can use, regardless of age, culture, ethnicity. We all can use that nudge and that support and love. And so it is really profound for me as a new
business owner to be a part of such a great program, the FIRE program, and act as a sponsor for today's program. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, A Motivating Love, for inviting me and including me in this great, great program that is directly aligned with what I'm all about and what I am trying to promote through my stationery products and greeting cards. So again, I say thank you. And I'm excited. I'm elated to be a part. I'm excited to listen in on your virtual program today. So thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys around and having you as new customers. Visit us at www.naomiruthexpressions.com. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, we just had such an amazing time at A Motivating Love. This is fire. Friends in reach every day. Today was filled with a bunch of amazing women. We supported each other, empowered each other. And oh my gosh, Daphne, thank you and your wonderful, amazing team. Guys, we will be back in January. Woohoo! Can't wait. Come on out, get signed up. A Motivating Love is on fire.
Welcome back, everyone, and boy, are we on fire today. Let's get back to our questions. This next one is for Rita and Tiara. Okay, ladies, bear with me on this one. It's a long one. You ready?
We're ready. We're on fire.
I know. Let's see. Okay. I believe my friend girl number 1 is jealous of my other friend girl number 2, who I've known a little longer. I also think that number 1 wants me to end my friendship with number 2 because number 1 believes number 2 is using me to gain exposure for her business through my connections and networking. I've explained to number 1 that I don't feel that way, and if I do, I will check number 2 myself. No need to step in. Number 1 isn't listening. Oh my goodness. Her snide comments are getting on my nerves. Help.
Okay, well, you want me to go first, Tara?
Sure, go ahead.
I would just say about friends again, friends are in your life for certain seasons and certain reasons. And so everyone plays a different role. And I think it's important to just understand that friends are there to support you in many different aspects of your life. So with friend number, I believe it was girl number 1, that's getting on your nerves. Friends can get on your nerves sometimes. So I would just say, it's important to just have that conversation and to be honest with friend number 1. And if friend number 1 still doesn't get it, maybe you need a little bit of space just for a little season from friend number 1 and step back, reevaluate the friendship. And I would say commit that to prayer and see kind of what happens, what develops after that. Because if friend number 1 is truly not trying to hear you and understand you, then it may be a situation where you just need a little bit of space to reevaluate. Friendships are ever changing. Even though we want them to last forever, sometimes they just don't. And sometimes they just go through times of, change. Sometimes it's you're great, and then sometimes you're not, like any other relationship. And so I think that they need to be reevaluated, and then I think that it's important for you to be honest. So I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, very good. This was a good jam-packed question. I'm a writer, and I like to dig deep into everything.
It's a lot in there.
It was a lot. So I say this, right? Women are amazing. I love women empowerment, but I also recognize that sometimes women can clash and women can have issues and women can have experiences like jealousy and envy and um, just, sometimes there's emotional issues, there's mental issues, there can be insecurity. So I just want to throw that out there first of all, so that everybody listening understands women. Ooh, it's another beast, right? You can get men together, watch baseball, football, basketball. They're good. But women, you don't know what you're going to expect. Just like this girls' day trip that these folks are going on soon. But I say all that to say, I don't think it's probably uncommon for some women to have friendships where from time to time they may wonder, like, ooh, is this person jealous of this person? Especially when there's multiple friends and all of that. However, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Rita. Some things are just really, they boil down to a conversation, right? And it sounds like this person has had conversations, because they said the person isn't listening and her snide comments. So maybe it's time to reevaluate all of these situations. Why is she making these snide comments, right? Because if you're my friend, you have to understand that I may have multiple friends here, right? So I can't have you as this friend making rude or snide comments about that friend. Do you have an issue with me, or do you have an issue with this friend, right? And what happens if I want us all to be together? So I think that maybe this person needs to dig a little deeper. And then also that jealous word, man, I swear that's a word I wish we could just get away with, but it's so real. And I think that as women, we have to recognize that there will be women who may be jealous of other women. And there may be women who are envious or insecure, all those things. But I think that as women, we just have to stand strong in who we are and just continue to be who we are. Let our light shine bright. Those who want to be in that light will be there. Those who can't handle it will walk away, and that's fine, because I believe that God will send us the people that we need in those seasons. And so at the end of the day, I'm sure whoever this woman is, she has so many amazing things going on in her life where she probably doesn't need this negative energy of juggling. Well, this friend doesn't like this friend, that friend doesn't like this friend. Well, hey, sometimes you're in seasons where you got to kind of walk alone, and you might need to put both of them to the side for a moment and keep doing what you're being called to do. So just another one of my long-winded answers to say, just evaluate those relationships and those friendships. And at the end of the day, do what's best for you, and don't have anybody working your nerves because you have other things you need to be focusing on right now.
I mean, I think that's one thing I've learned through COVID is to try to eliminate a lot of the negativity and to really try to live a more authentic life, because I think, as a society, have learned that life is short. Yes. During COVID, we've learned that what the important things are about our family, our true friends, people that are going to support us, that will lift us up. And if these friends are bringing in a lot of negativity, we really need to learn to eliminate that from our life in a positive way, in a loving way. And I think that will also help us to live more authentic, full lives.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Wow. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Okay, our next question is for Erin, Tiara, and Rita. All right, ladies. My coworkers are not following through on tasks that are part of their position. I'd like to fault them, but their supervisor isn't doing her part either. So it's a trickling effect. HR and our big manager are no help. What else can I do?
Okay, I'll jump in real quick because you two ladies are amazing. So I'll put my little part in and you guys can take it. That should just not happen. If you have communication with everyone you work with, that doesn't happen. Help them figure out why. Why are they not able to do their part? Why are they not doing their part? Are they in the right position? Maybe you need to have that conversation with them and say, maybe you don't want to be whatever that position is. Talk to them. It's easy. Communication is key on this. You don't have to waste time wondering about it. Just talk to them. Help them.
That's good.
I think what I'm wondering is how it's affecting this person specifically. How is it affecting their job and their performance? Because I think if they're able to sit down and look and able to articulate, okay, this is how it's affecting my job, then that person should be able to then effectively communicate that to their supervisor. And without pointing fingers, it's important to not call names, but just to say, okay, I see that this is happening. How can we make a change? How can we implement some new policies and procedures that will prevent these lapses from occurring? And maybe that would make a change with whatever this person is going through.
Yeah, really good. And when I think about this question, I see that this person, it sounds like they may have already reached out to HR. They've already reached out to the big manager. So it sounds to me that whatever the issues are, they've escalated them up because perhaps they've tried to have the conversation, or perhaps it's just really impacting them. So I would say, and I mean, there's just Tiara's thoughts here. Maybe it's time to pause and evaluate this job, right? I'm not saying, go quit tomorrow, or don't let people run you out of a workplace. But I am saying sometimes we do have to pause and evaluate our life and our lives and our situations to say, okay, wait a minute. Right. I'm doing my part. Key word or key thought one, make sure you're doing your part, right?
Right.
In the workplace. And then this person has reached out to people, which is what you should do, right? And when you have an issue, you should go to the people that can help solve the issue to avoid conflict. They did that. And if you're feeling like you're not getting support from your manager, you're not getting support from HR, you're having conflicts or having issues with the people that you're working with, then maybe you need to ask yourself, okay, what can I do now, right? Is this a job or a career that I don't want to leave? Because it is an amazing career. Then maybe you can think about, okay, are there other teams or opportunities within this particular company? Or maybe it's time to say, you know what, let me look at my history with this company. I've had issues since the beginning. So maybe it's time to get that resume together, get on LinkedIn, build those network groups and connections, and start looking for other opportunities. So those are just some thoughts, kind of a little outside of the box. But at the end of the day, make sure you're doing everything that you can do, and just make sure that you're, open to possibilities, because sometimes conflict comes in our life to shake us up a little and open our eyes and make us do something.
I think it also makes us better. I always try to look at myself and say, okay, what's my part in that? What's my part in this situation? I'm not perfect by any stretch at all. So what is it? So it makes me better too. And then it does lead you down that trail. I'm with you, Tiara. Like, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe this isn't the right place. Listen to the signs. But I always look inside myself first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Wow, ladies. Thank you. All right. Another question is for Cheryl and Rita. Okay. I believe that one of my girlfriends is gay because she's always looking at my breasts when we are together. It is making me very uncomfortable, but she's also my roommate and my best friend. Nothing has ever happened, and she's never came out of the closet to me, but I don't know what to do.
This question made me laugh, and I had so many other questions after reading it.
I think I would just say, okay, the next time it happens, I would say, are you looking at my boobs? And then I, see what the answer is, because maybe it's not what you think. Maybe she's not gay or anything like that. Maybe she just is admiring your boobs and wants a pair herself.
Yes.
Or maybe, yeah. So I don't know. I would just
likes it. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just ask the question when it happens. Are you looking at my boobs?
I feel like maybe there's more going on here. Like, are you getting other signals?
Right.
Because if somebody was maybe I was displaying them because we were going out and somebody looked at them, I would say, thank you. And I move on.
It's
Right?
a compliment, right?
Yeah. But if there's more going on here and it is making her that uncomfortable, then I think if it's your best friend and your roommate, then, I mean, you need to talk about it and say, I felt really.
We're going to have the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's 2021. We should be able to talk about these things as a woman. If I felt somebody was checking me out and made me made me feel uncomfortable, then I feel like I should get to ask them that. And if your friend really is gay and needs to talk about it, then I think we should talk about that also if you really are her friend. So that's my 2 cents.
I 100% agree. You just have to have the conversation.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, ladies, we've had a question come through while we've been on air. So everyone, I need to pop back on screen and let's all answer this, or you answer it together. It says, my friend is no longer caring about her appearance and hygiene when we go out. Her hair is no longer kept. Her clothes are not together, and I've tried speaking with her about it, but she isn't listening. There has been no big change that I'm aware of. What else can I do?
It sounds like COVID.
That's what
it sounds like COVID.
I'm like, COVID. Like probably right now, half of us have on pajama shorts right now. So, so now I get it. They're going out. Maybe they're finally getting out and about. And it's like, whoa, what happened? But I mean, let's be real. People have been in the house for a long time, but still, I do think that that is important. I mean, as an adult and a woman, hygiene is important, hair. But I would talk to her and keep talking to her. And, and then maybe it's something deeper, right? Maybe she's going through something. Like again, back to mental health. Maybe if this isn't a common trait of your friend and you can remove the COVID part, it's like, okay, is everything okay?
Right. As a manager.
Yeah, I mean, COVID has spurred on a lot of depression. Yeah. I think mental health has skyrocketed. I even saw an article it was a little piece on the news that was saying that a lot of dentists are getting patients for teeth grinding because of the stress of life. So it's just COVID has caused so much stress physically, mentally, and maybe she's just depressed. So I do think that COVID has spurred on a lot of those things, not just comfortable clothes, but a lot of like depression and mental health issues. So and a lot of really, I think, requires a conversation.
I think it requires like that true girlfriend conversation where you say, don't just tell me that you're fine, because that's not really what that means. I think you have to really dedicate the moment and the time and say, we got to talk about this. Maybe this is who you are now, but let's talk about that, because your outward health is your inner health, right? So don't let it find a resource, find someone to get through and find out, because I'm 99% sure that there's something really going on. Maybe they're sick and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they've given up. Whatever it is, they need help. I'm not saying they have to be, beauty pageant, but healthiness. Taking a shower is a healthy thing. Doing all those things, bathing is a healthy thing. So I'd be very worried about my friend, and I would not let it go. I would be dogged. I've had that situation in my workplace when I've managed over the years. Their appearance is either as professional as it can be, or has very hard for me to do a woman. I have the spirit that we're all helping each other out, doing our best, by speaking our best, and by empowering. So really had a hard time talking about it, because I knew they'd be so that I was worried or thought something less, but I did it, and it got better, and there was a big problem that I would never have known about and not have dealt with if I had a situation. Press with love, not think. But the problem. I think they're asking you to help them.
I agree with that somewhat, not a 100%, because I would want to ask, if this person were here, I would say, why is it so important to you that your friend is dressed up when you guys go out? I mean, I have lots of friends, I have friends that don't wear makeup. They never wear, at a wedding, a big party, they do not wear makeup. Their hair is just straight. They don't curl their hair. They don't color their hair. That's just them. Now, I know this may be a change for this person. But, if I'm embarrassed or whatever because my friend didn't dress up as much as me, that's about me. You know what I mean? So I do think there could be something if there was a drastic change. But if she's not, I mean, she's still going out. It's not like she's avoiding people.
Right.
So if I asked a few times, whatever, then I would just keep being a friend, right? Just being a friend, going out, having lunch or whatever, or maybe, I don't know. I just know I have lots of friends that don't dress. They think it's crazy that I wear lipstick every day. They're like, I have one friend that does not wear mascara. And I'm like, what? What? You don't wear mascara?
Right.
Will not wear heels. And I love heels, but that's her. And I have to appreciate her for her. So
I guess I focused in on the bathing cleanliness thing. I think that's more what it was, because I love all natural, whatever it is too. To reiterate that, I'm with you. I wouldn't want someone to have a different style. I'm not stylish. I get it. It's the bathing that worried me, I guess.
Yeah. So I don't know. I always want to know more about these. Like, what's really going on?
Yeah, can we help them? Where are they?
Wow, thanks, ladies. Y'all have really enlightened us tonight. It was nice just to have a girlfriend's conversation. I mean, we've learned a lot. The biggest thing I think that's been out there that was in everything is communicate with your friends and let's grow together. Ask questions if you're concerned. I want to thank everyone for joining us today on our second Let It All Out. We would love for anyone that attended to please give us their feedback. We have a link you can go to. It is bit.ly/LIAO survey. And we would also like to remind you, if you'd like to join us for our 2021 gala through a mother's luncheon, it's hashtag AML Gala. It's May 1st, and you must purchase a ticket. It will be virtual, but it's for a good cause. And our host, our MC with the mostest is Miss Tiara. She's going to be leading the way for us and taking good care of us that night. Mistress of Ceremonies, Tiara Tucker. So again, Tiara, I'd like to thank you for joining us today on the show and answering all your questions and giving your opinions. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'd like to thank Rita. Thank you
so much for having me today.
Great, thank you. And Miss Cheryl.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing your opinions and thoughts. And finally, Miss Erin. Hey.
Hey, thank you so much. It's been such an honor. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Welcome. I want to thank everybody for coming. And we also have, let's see here. I'm trying to read my notes so I don't get in trouble. Here we go. Donations are welcome at any time for a Motivating Love. We you hashtag AML 2021 Gala. And we also have the gala's coming up on May 1st. And then we have on May 15th our FIRE, which is our Friends in Reach, Chapter 5 on May 15th. We should have all this information here displayed at the bottom. And thank everyone for attending today. Thank my panelists. And we will catch you next time on Let It All Out.
Well, ladies, it looks like we have a question. Is this like the encore part?
Oh, did we have another question? Oh, here we go. How do you, I'm getting all these messages. How do you perceive mental health, anxiety, depression, and what actions do you take?
That might be one of the most important questions of the day.
Right? Okay, I'll just go because you all are going to be way better than me. I would say that it happens to everyone and that we shouldn't be embarrassed about it. And it happens to people of all ages, men, women, so forth. And we should always ask for help. whether it is your girlfriends talking about it or taking it to a professional who has no personal motivation with you so they can really help you see whatever that truth is that you need to hear and get help. Not all of us were born with everything we need to get through life. And I think COVID has showed us, oh my goodness, things change on a half a dime, not just a dime. And you need help, and that's okay. Ask for it, get it, give it. I think it's really important. It comes in all forms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big proponent of counseling. So I would just say, and I try to now explain that counseling is not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a mental health issue. It could just be a place where you can go and process.
Yeah.
It could be a place where you can go and work through and talk through what's going on. That's why you have some therapy with just journaling. Art therapy is just getting it out. And I think nowadays it's really important for us to process, to find a channel, an outlet, so that we don't have it pent up and we can keep going with our lives healthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's really important to normalize counseling and normalize that we all have ebbs and flows in our life. And that, you know, it's just part of taking care of yourself, like going to the dentist or whatever. There's times in your life when you need a counselor, therapist, or a spiritual advisor, whatever it is that is your thing. But obviously, I mean, the biggest thing is just not ignoring it, you know, naming it, providing resources, reaching out to loved ones if they are not ready to actually themselves make that step, but just trying to help them in any way that you can.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When I think about the question, you know, how do you perceive it and what actions can you take? Well, I mean, I believe mental health is huge, right? And I would love for us to all live in a world where there's not a stigma attached to mental health. As long as we all have a mind, a brain, and a body and living life, we are going to deal with some forms of mental health issues, whether it's anxiety or depression or suicide or whatever it might be. And I think that, I know for me, I had a situation where I was dealing with anxiety. And granted, nobody in my world would have known. So sometimes there are people that are dealing with this silently. And I didn't even realize what I was dealing with. I'm like, I'm living my best life. Why am I feeling like this? I didn't understand it. So I would say that when I think about it, that people can give themselves a little grace, because not everybody even knows what they're dealing with at that time, especially if it's something foreign or feels like an oxymoron. But then I would say to the person or the people that are dealing with it, you know yourself, right? And know that if something isn't feeling right, whether you don't know what it is or maybe you do, don't wait, right? There are tons of resources out there, anonymous resources, free resources. There are therapists out there. There are so many people. And there's also other things you can do. For me, I learned about mindfulness. So I'm all about practicing mindfulness. You know, sometimes it might just be, I have a prayer closet. I go to my prayer closet. So I would say to the individuals, know you, love yourself enough to want to get yourself right or better or be your best self and live your best life. And then do those things that are helping you. Because what might work for Rita, Erin, and Cheryl, and Tiara may not work for you. And then also, when it comes to, I think people, you know, that's such a sensitive thing where I don't believe in pressuring people to get help, because everybody's got to do what works for them, how it works for them, when it works for them. But as loved ones, I do think it is important to acknowledge your loved ones or your friends and say, you know, I'm just letting you know something doesn't feel right, but just know if you ever want to talk about it, I'm here. Because sometimes people just want to know that somebody cares, or they get that confirmation from somebody else that what they thought they were hiding and was secret about is really showing up in life. So yeah, I would say just be a good friend and be a loved one, and let people know you care, but don't pressure them to the point where then they want to hide from you.
Good point.
Thanks, Tiara, for catching that question for me. I missed it. Well, again, this is the end of our Let It All Out series. If you can, please go and give us a survey. We'd love your feedback at bit.ly/LIAO survey. You can also, if you're watching it later, use the hashtag replay. And wanted to tell you, if you need help, please reach out to us on our website at amotivatinglove.org. Allow us the opportunity to help you because you're not alone in any struggles you have. We are all here for you. We're a safe organization, and it's a safe place for you when we have our events, and we also have a safe support system for women. So again, if you need us, reach out to us, amotivatinglove.org. And I want to say thank you to all our virtual attendees and our panelists, and we will see you next time. Thanks.